Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. This is the first video that I'm filming in our new home. It's been quite a while since I filmed, honestly. It's been about 6 weeks, I think. So I'm a little out of practice and this is all new as far as positioning of the camera and lighting and shadows behind me and everything else. I appreciate your patience as I figure out all the details. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I think my mic is working, but the battery might be dying. We'll see how it goes, but today is going to be a chatty get ready with me with a pal of your request as I just talk about our home move, how things went, how we're liking the new house, etc. So let's get going with it. I'm just going to start with a little bit of tinted moisturizer from ColourPop. This is the shade Light 6W, and honestly everything that I'm using will be linked below in the description box. As far as palettes go, I do often use older palettes, sometimes discontinued, but if something is not available, it's at least mentioned so that you guys can reference that if you're curious to see what I'm using. So let's talk about the move. We moved from an apartment complex where we were renting a townhome, and now we're in a house. And we didn't move far, but we moved much closer to my husband's job. We're actually 1 mile from his job and he has been walking to work. Yeah, it's been great. It's been so nice living near his job. Between us taking him to work or him driving to work, it was at least 7 hours of driving a week that we're not doing now. It's amazing. And if I do need to take him to work or bring something to him while he's at work or pick him up if it's raining or whatever, my oldest daughter is old enough that I can leave her home with the little ones and I'm literally back within 5 minutes. It's awesome. The townhome that we were renting before, it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, standard townhome, really. And I don't want to complain about it because it really did provide us what we needed with a safe, comfortable home for almost 3 years. It was quite limited on space, especially storage space. So over time, I would continue to get rid of things and whatnot, but then we had another child. And it was tight. It was a little tight. I know it's a first world problem, but we were also within city limits, and the reason that we had moved there was because the home we were in was just too large and we wanted to economize. Unfortunately, the real estate market at the time was just, you take what you can get, so that's what we could get. Okay, today I'm playing with the Garden of Juvia's palette. I had put in my community tab a little poll saying, hey guys, what palette would you like to see me use in a chatty get ready with me, and Garden of Juvia's won out. So let me see what I would like to do. This palette's really pretty. And honestly, this is not the Juvia's Place formula that I remember from their older palettes. They must have improved, especially in the shimmers. The shimmers in this palette are so pretty. They're just sparkly, fairy-like. They're so lovely. So what do I want to do? Okay, so I think I'm gonna do Peony and Oh Honey. This will probably be an inner corner. And then I might use this shimmer right here. I don't think I've really used that one yet. I can see I've swatched it. I've swatched all of them, but I don't think I've used it yet. So let's start with that. We were in the townhome for about 3 years. Every time our lease was coming up for renewal, we would look around and see what was available on the market. And finally, we found a house that was right down the street from my husband's job. And it was technically less square footage by about 50. But when my husband did a walkthrough, it was so much more spacious. And I think that that was because it wasn't 2 levels, it's just 1 single level. And it somehow made it feel like, okay, this is much more comfortable. It also had a garage, which was one of the qualifications we were looking for, and it had a big yard, which is great for the kids. Now, we were surprised that it was still on the market because of the price and the proximity to, it was outside city limits, but also close to a lot of things, close to shopping, close to a major highway. According to the realtor, the landlord had very clearly stated absolutely no pets. People would come and tour the house and then they would say, oh, this yard is so great, my dog's gonna love it. And the realtor would say, no pets, no pets, just read the listing. Just read the listing. My husband negotiated the price to be a little bit lower if we signed for 2 years. As far as living space, just a tiny bit smaller than the apartment, but as far as storage and yard and everything else, it's a win. So we're paying, I think it's the same price than what we were paying at the apartment. Now, our home feels so much more spacious. The living room is large. Our daughter's bedroom, and the three of them share a room. That room is a little bit smaller than what they had before. It doesn't have its own bathroom, but we were able to fit everything inside with no problem. It's not feeling really cramped or anything. We did take away a desk, but we added a bookshelf because they needed a bit more, like somewhere to store their own books and toys and stuff. And then our bedroom is actually a bit bigger. The bathrooms are quite a bit smaller. There's just sink, toilet, like right next to each other, and then the tub, and that's it. The bathrooms are the length of the tub with no extra space, so they're both quite small. And it's actually better because in her last place, my daughter, she's 12, and then we have two little ones, but she had her own bathroom in their bedroom, and she was the only one who used it. The room was a mess, and there were clothes, mountains of clothes everywhere. So it's probably for the best that she doesn't have her own bathroom now, because she was not keeping up with it nicely. And now the bathroom that she uses is like the guest bathroom. It's the bathroom for the house. How's that looking? This is a very orangey brown in this lighting. So anyway, the new space has a third bedroom, which we didn't have, and my husband and I are using that as an office. My husband is in school, he's in seminary, and he really needed some office space. And that's been really great too, because now he can come home, he can give everybody hugs and kisses, and then he can go to his office and study instead of going to the library every day after work. So we actually see him more, even in addition to the fact that he's not commuting the way that he was before. He's also home for dinner. Sometimes he comes home for lunch. It's a good thing. I'm bringing this pink color onto my lower lash line, and I'll probably go into the brown as well out here. Besides the house itself, we've got the huge yard, and I mean a huge yard. It's a corner lot, and I really do think that this is the largest lot in the entire neighborhood, which is a pretty big neighborhood. We have the front yard, the side yard, and the entire backyard. And between our backyard and the neighbor's side yard, there's definitely room for another house. So I don't know if there used to be a house there or if it's just the way the property lines were drawn, but we have a big yard. It takes at least 2 hours to mow with a push mower. And the first time I mowed it, my mower died like 20 minutes before I was done the job. I'm like, oh, why? I did forget to mention the kitchen. The kitchen and the dining room are almost identical to the apartment as far as the layout and the size, and even some of like the cabinets. It's not ideal as far as size. There's very little counter space, and it leads right into the dining room, and you're constantly bumping into the dining room chairs to get into the kitchen. That's the biggest drawback, I think, to the house, is the size of the kitchen and dining area. There's almost no counter space, and fortunately I've got decent cabinetry. But a couple things are living in the garage, some smaller appliances, and then right out next to the kitchen there's a tiny little nook before you get into the garage, and that's washer and dryer, and there's cabinetry above those as well, which I appreciate. So one of those is all my baking stuff. But besides that, everything else is an improvement, honestly. And this house, another benefit is that it came with all of the appliances, all of them: washer, dryer, garbage disposal, dishwasher, refrigerator, which was great because that's one of the biggest moving expenses is, oh, now I need to buy a washer, dryer, fridge. And we didn't have to. Now, if these die, we are responsible to replace them, but we didn't have to buy them right off. I think the oldest appliance in the whole house is the dryer, but it still works fine. All right, I want to play first with this Blossom shade. It's this. It's pretty, right? Oh, it's like a soft orangey pink is what it looks like. So let me put that in the middle. It's so weird for me not to have depth in the outer corner. Like, I have a little bit of contrast, but not really any depth. So I'm pretty much unpacked at this point. I will say in the garage has been my holding tank. Once we set up the bathrooms and the kitchens and like the living spaces, then everything else got moved to the garage, and I'm just working through boxes as I find places for things. You know, the crafts are gonna live here, and the winter clothes are gonna live here, etc. Yesterday, I put up the majority of my decor, pictures on the walls. You know, the first things to come down when you move are like the last things to go up when you settle. The fact that there's now some decor up is a good sign. Still a lot for me to sort in the garage, but some of this stuff is going to live there permanently, such as the smaller kitchen appliances, and we got some shelving. Some stuff like the double stroller that's gonna live in the garage, the lawnmower, you know, reasonable things to live in the garage. But then there is some stuff out there that I don't think we're gonna keep because it didn't really work in the last place. It's not really working in this place. And it just seems silly to keep moving it around. We clearly haven't needed it in all these years. So I think we're gonna have a yard sale at the end of the summer. Let's pick up one more shimmer. I can't quite decide between Sunshine and Daffodil. They're both yellowy, but this one is slightly more orange and this one's quite sunshiny yellow. Ironically, because that one's named Sunshine. I think I'll do Daffodil because it's a bit more of a contrast from Blossom. So I'll pick up Daffodil and put that here. The other one would be just as pretty. I love the shimmers in this palette, but it's a little more orange, so it would blend in a lot more with the pink shimmer. I just thought that this would give me a bit more contrast and make it a little more interesting. So pretty. Whatever Juvia's Place did with these shimmers was a great improvement. So it's been great. It's been really, really lovely. We haven't met many people in the neighborhood. One neighbor across the street and one neighbor next door, and that's it. But the people we have met have been nice, haven't had any issues yet. It's a quiet, an older neighborhood, but it's quiet. And that's pretty. Let's do an inner corner highlight. I'm gonna pick up this shade here, Gardenia. We've gone for some walks all the way around, and every property is well maintained. Look at this. I'm liking this eye look. Every property is well maintained. There's nothing that would give me concern or pause as far as, oh, what kind of place are we living in? No, everything is entirely respectable and appropriate as far as what you can tell from people's yards. That is a great matte. That's a great matte. It kind of covered up the pink over here. That's really impressive. You know what? This palette continues to surprise and delight me. I'm going to put a light pink in my waterline. This is ColourPop Fluffy. You know, I'm starting to forget the names of these. It's been a little while, and there was a time recently when I was filming, but I was forgetting about waterlines to the point where I think some of these are starting to dry out a bit. But this is the shade Fluffy. I really like the creme gel liners from ColourPop, and yesterday I used one that it seemed to be drying out. So what I did was I just drew on my hand a bit to kind of wipe off something that perhaps was stuck or dried on there and see if I could get a fresh surface, and that seemed to help. Editing Rachel here, and to my great shame, I didn't even mention actual moving day, which was another huge blessing, simply aside from the house itself. Really quickly, we had 19 people come and help us move. All of them were from our tiny church, and it was the smoothest move we've ever had. I mean, I had everything boxed and organized and whatnot before people got there. I knew where things were going, what rooms to take them to when we got to the new house, etc. But 19 people came and helped us move, and we were done, like, out of the apartment, into the truck, out of the truck, and fully unloaded into the new house in 5 hours. It was an incredible blessing. We felt so loved. It was awesome. So I just had to put this in here because it felt crazy that I didn't even mention it. All right, let's put on some mascara, and then I want to talk to you guys about some thoughts I have regarding my channel. Currently, we do not have internet, so it's not been a problem. Given the amount of internet that we use, we've been able to simply use our hotspots on our phones, but that is not sufficient bandwidth for me to upload YouTube videos. That's the only problem as far as I'm concerned with not having internet, like an internet connection for the house. And my intended solution is that I will film and edit my videos per usual, and then when I am somewhere that has an internet connection, like when we go for piano lessons, I can just jump onto my teacher's internet connection. Then I will use that time to upload. My concern is that I'll only be able to upload 1 or 2 videos because they don't upload super fast, and if it takes 45 minutes to upload a video, then I'll be able to get one in there but not really start a second one, because the moment I leave that connection, it just shuts down uploads entirely. There's not enough bandwidth from my phone alone to upload YouTube videos, at least long ones. So I have a few thoughts. We might end up going to the library after piano lessons. because not only would that be a good use of our time, it would also give me a longer internet connection to finish uploading whatever videos I had ready. If I am finding that I do not have the ability to upload as many videos as I did before, which realistically was about 4 a week for the last 2 years, I mean, I'd like to be able to maintain that, but if I'm not able to, then I might switch to some short form content here and on Instagram. I'll upload as many long videos as I can. It might be once or twice a week, but then I'll probably switch and add in some short form content. And I'm also going to change the format of my week of videos. I'm using a bronzer from Physicians Formula, again, linked below in the description box. If you are aware of what my week of is, I dedicate an entire week to just one eyeshadow palette. So I've got the week of Hella, I've got the week of Jivia's Place, Wahala 2, etc. And I was doing that in the form of having one video per look. So I would get 4 looks in a full week using just that one palette. I've got a new plan for a couple of reasons. First off, I think that people were getting bored with seeing a full week of just one palette, but also because of my restrictions or potential restrictions with uploading quantity of videos, hopefully not quality, quantity of videos. I think what I'm going to do is it's going to be more like a 4 looks, 1 palette kind of format, where I'll just use one palette for a full week. And then I'll recap those looks in the video. So they might be mini tutorials, you know, kind of breezing through, this is what I did for this look. Or they might be more like my while I was out, where I just show you the look and talk about it. Tell me which one you would prefer. Would you prefer to see mini tutorials? I'm not going to make like a 45-minute video, again, because of upload time, but it would be kind of sped through, and this is how I did the look, here's the final result kind of thing, for all of the looks in that week using that palette. I think I'm going to do that from now on for week of, because it's going to work with my perceived upload delay. I think it will also be more interesting for you guys. Think of Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. She does her makeup diaries this way. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Now I'm using ColourPop No Vacancy Super Shock Cheek. I like their Super Shock face products. I might pick up a Super Shock highlighter or 2. I've heard they're beautiful. It also allows me, doing it this way also allows me to just enjoy the eyeshadow, the process, the palettes, have fun doing what I like to do without trying to stress myself out about, oh, but I need to film this look, but I don't have time, or I don't have the ability to upload all these videos. You know, it will give me the chance to still play and have fun, but not stress myself out. This is a hobby. It should not be stressful. Furthermore, as far as time filming and everything, we are about to get, well, not about, but, you know, with the new school year coming up, my daughter is entering 7th grade, and her school load with our homeschool group is going to get much heavier. And I'm also tutoring now. I'm going to be one of the teachers in the homeschool group. So I'm not sure what the day's schedule is going to look like. I want to be teaching my youngest now, teaching her how to read. There's just a lot coming into the school year now as we get, you know, the kids are getting older. I don't usually do bronzer, blush, and highlighter, but here we are. So let's play with the frosting highlighter from Cosmic Brushes. I'm gonna take this one here. It's the pink one, it's in the center, called Cinnamon Swirl. I think that honestly that's gonna be the biggest change as far as themed videos. I think I'm gonna do that format, like a makeup diaries or 4 looks, 1 palette kind of thing, and just condense it all into one video so you guys can get the benefit of all those looks without it being dragged out. That's my plan. Tell me what you think. Again, if you would prefer little mini tutorials that are sped up with some music or voiceover, or if you would just prefer to see the final look and have me talk about it. Let's do this glowing lip from ColourPop. It is the shade Tickle Pink. I like the glowing lip formula. To me, it feels like a lipstick, but one that's actually hydrating. My experience with lipsticks is that they're not always very comfortable or long-lasting, but I like the ColourPop formula. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Honestly, I think this eye look is so lovely. It's not as dramatic in the outer corner as I ever go. It's really quite light and pastel, but I think it has a little bit of contrast between the colors and the shimmers, and I love this new formulation for Juvia's Place. Again, my old palettes did not behave like this. I think that this is the same formulation as their Candy Shop palette, and maybe their two new Culture palettes, but this formulation, the shimmers are light, sparkly, they're very lightweight, they're very glittery, but they're not glitters. They're so pretty, and I think that this is beautiful. It's just quiet and soft, a little bit girly, a little feminine, not too intense. It's lovely. So thank you guys for voting for me to use the Garden of Juvia's palette, because I've had a delightful time this morning. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I appreciate you so much for being here. I appreciate your patience as I figure out all of the new details and a new home, new schedule, new responsibilities, maybe some slowdown as far as uploads. Now that I'm filming again, I'm enjoying it. I've wanted to get back into filming. This is fun for me, but I also have to balance it with my abilities and what I should be doing. So it's just a matter of finding that sweet spot, whatever it looks like. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you will consider liking and subscribing if you like this content and you want to see more. Remember to check back on my channel for almost 500 other videos. I hope that you guys will have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!